All right, can you see me online? Can you hear me? Let me know if you are on, if you could see me, if you could hear me. Amen. All right. The portion, nobody's online. Can they hear me? I'm talking about on Facebook. I need to know if somebody, am I on? Because I don't want to start and nobody's on Facebook. Can't hear me. I may not be online. I just want to make sure that I'm online. So if somebody could go on Facebook and let me know. All right. Thank you. Just want to make sure you could hear me. Okay. Now, Shabbat Shalom to you. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to another Shabbat. I'm not going to be long. I promise. We're going to be very quick. It said, I saw it said slow connection. So you may have to come and rewind the teaching because it says slow connection. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Miss Blanche. That's important. But today it's not going to be long. Miketz, meaning after or the end, is our portion for this week. And what I want to focus on in this particular portion is for us to learn how God speaks. And sometimes by not understanding how he speaks, we get into a place where we are confused when God speaks, and we're looking for it to look like a certain way in the natural because we misunderstand. So in this portion, particularly Yoseph, when he, on Genesis 41, when he got to the dream of Pharaoh to interpret the dream, it actually didn't start there. That's the reason why it says after at the end. God always starts at the end of the thing. He doesn't start in the beginning. In our humanity, once he do the end, in our humanity, we start from the beginning. So that's where the misunderstanding happened, because when God speaks, we run to the end of the thing and we assume in the natural it's supposed to look like what God have said, but he spoke to the end. He didn't speak in the beginning. So when God speaks, we have to unravel ourselves back to the beginning to go back to what he said, to the end of the thing, which that tells us in our understanding, if God said it and he traveled to the end of it, that means the path and the road has already been made. So as I am going towards the end of what he says, I'm traveling the road that God have already created. That's why nothing surprises God. Nothing is new to God, because you'll travel that road already. Now in the natural, you're walking the road that's already been carved from God by the word that he's given us. Now, in Pharaoh, Joseph's situation, Pharaoh had a problem. But what God did, he gave an answer first to Yoseph in the book of Bereshit, Genesis 37 chapter. He gave an answer. He spoke to the end of the thing when he said Yoseph had a dream, which he told his brothers, and that made them hate him. And that dream is, we were trying up the bundle of a wheat, and it's saying that he was going to be the king. And when suddenly my bundle got up by itself and stood upright, then the bundle came, gathered around mine, and prostrate themselves before me. Now, that's the answer of the thing. Now, when God give an answer, get ready for the problem to get the answer. We focus on the answer so much. We look for our process to look like the answer. Misunderstand that God doesn't speak in that manner. He gives the answer, and then now there's a problem. He have to create the problem. The only way the answer is going to manifest is through the problem. So you don't get surprised when you see the problem, because the problem is the one that's going to manifest the answer that he gave at the end of the thing. See, that's the reason why in Hebrew that the books are different. In English, we have our book this way, and we open our book from this way and we read and we go to the end of the book. In Hebrew, the book is giving to us on the opposite way. The end of the book that seems to be the end in English is actually the beginning of the book. And the book is open left. In English is open right. So from the left, how you read Hebrew, you read from right to left, from end to the beginning. That's the language of God. So anything that's the reason why we have to understand the Jewish perspective, because it gives us a better understanding how God operates. It gives us the law, the principle on how God operates. So in the principle of Judaism, the book opens to the right and we read every word from right to left. God speaks from right, the end of the thing. And then we have to go back and manifest by going left to the beginning. That's how God speaks. So when he gives an answer, us as believers, we run from the problem. And the problem running after you says, excuse me, that's the only way you're going to get the answer. You running away from the problem, you're actually running away from the manifestation of the answer. So we run from problem. We don't want no problem. I don't like no problem. I don't like no argument. I don't like no drama. I don't like no that. But in that win of the problem is how you crack the answer. I almost said you just crack the nut and you find the answer. So it's the same. Let me use that omen. So if when God speaks to you, he showed the omen on the inside. But then when you get the omen, there's a big shell on the outside. Then you're going to have to take a cracker and crack it. And I'm sure the omen is in pain. What? But that's the way for me to get to the answer. So when he gives you an answer, the problem have to come for you to get the answer. So when he gave Yoseph the answer, now here come the problem, the dream in 37. There will be a 7-year famine. All right. So the answer from the riddle of the dream, 34 verse, Pharaoh should do this. Here come the answer of the interpretation of the dream, which is the process of the answer that God gave Yoseph in the previous chapter on 37 chapter. Now we're in 41. Here come the problem. Pharaoh had a dream. Whatever that dream about the horse in the river, right? Here come the interpretation. In the interpretation, here come the answer that God showed Yoseph from the beginning. So Pharaoh should do this. Here come the answer. He should appoint supervisor over the land to receive 29. And as he went on, here come the answer that God have given Yoseph. As he give the interpretation, he's walking towards his answer. And then 40th verse, and then that's when Pharaoh said, you will be in charge of my household. All of my people will rule over you. All of that is what God have told Yoseph from the beginning in chapter 37. So he give you an answer. He give you a seed. He give you an answer to whether to minister, to business, to your life. And then, but it's always what we call in the natural a problem. A problem is not a bad word. It's not the devil, even if it's the devil. It does not matter. The thing is, as believers, we misunderstand. So we run away from the devil. We run away from the problem. We run away with what things that seems to be hard. But that thing is the process to get to the answer that he have already given us. So we give up in the middle of it, of the problem. We like, no, they ain't turned out the way I thought. No, well, I know what you said and the other said. And you're wasting your time and your energy instead of focusing on the strategies that you need in the problem to get to the answer that he have already said. Oh, okay, let's look at Yeshua. No, let's go back further. Well, Yeshua had already died before the foundation of the world. He already provided the answer. Now here comes the problem. God created the problem. The problem is Eve and Adam. When Eve ate from the other fruit. Why? Because there was an answer was already sitting there waiting. Now God created the problem so the answer could fit. Because the answer was just sitting there. Yeshua had already died. Blood is already there. Provision already been made. Where's the problem? Oh, okay, we need to create the problem. So the answer could fit. The answer can't stand alone. The answer need a partner called problem. That's a cussing word for us as believers. No, we don't want problem. We just want answers. We want everything to be good. We want everything to be easy. We want just ain't sitting in the answer. Lord, what God said, you want to jump like magic. God said it, I'm going to sit right in it. Yes. That's what we do. Yes. But we forget whenever you get an answer from God, now I need to position myself in the problem to bring the answer. If you want a child, right? You want a child, you want to get pregnant, you want to have a child, and you've been prophesying your child going to be a prophet, your child going to be a great thing. Oh, yeah. Now, what's the problem? The problem is you have to get a man, you have to get pregnant, and then you go through pain. You go through heartache, and then when the child is born, and after the child born, you go through these little things, your body go through all these withdrawals, and then now you got to raise the child. The child look like it's going bad, and the prophecy said this, but the child look like it's going the opposite, and you just going through, oh my God, this is a bad child. Oh my God, it doesn't even look like the answer, because the process to get the answer, but you need that problem. Because by the time you get the answer, you can be like, oh my God, thank you. But if you jump and just you like magic, God gonna give me a child, he gonna be, and you overnight, this child gonna pop out. I don't know where it come from. It's just gonna pop out in your bed, and it's gonna pop out as a grown man, a grown woman. That's a Congress. That's Superman. That's right. That's what God said. That's the way unconsciously we do. Yeah. We don't know that there's a problem that is the partner of the answer. It just popped out, right? He said he's going to give you $1 million. He said he's going to make you a successful entrepreneur. Okay, you can't even get up out of bed on time. Right. You can't even keep your appointment on time. Right. You don't even know how to handle your customers. Yes. You don't know how to handle hard customers who don't even deserve your product. Yes. You don't even know how to take criticism about your product ain't working. Yes. What you mean? Because God told me my product going to be successful. That's what God said. We living off of the fume of the end of the thing. And we forget we have to go through the process. God spoke, and now I got to go back to the beginning. Unravel. But then here's the secret. If God were to travel all the way to the end, and you are unraveling back into the beginning, that's when you already went through the process at the end. The road has already, okay, let me use Yeshua. If Yeshua died before in the beginning, already for the foundation of the world, the process of him taking a body and coming to earth, he've already done that. So that's mean the answer is already, the success is there. I know I am successful. I will be. I'm coming to it because I know it's done. So obviously the process is not, I'm going to fail because I've already succeeded. Chew, bite, chew, swallow. Think about it. I've already succeeded because he said it. So why am I afraid in the process when I've already walked this road? All I'm doing is riding and walking a road that's already been carved to get to the end of the thing, which is the success. I've already walked that. Okay, watch this. If he said it, the end of the thing, right? So that's mean he said it, the end of the thing. So that's mean that road already been created. So when I'm unraveling back, I'm unraveling to a road that's already been created. Oh. And then I'm going back to the road that's already been created to get to the end of the thing. Because when he said it, he created the road. And that's the end of the thing. And here you go in the beginning. Because after you heard God, you got to go back to the process. God going to give you a success of business. He's going to give you this. He's going to be successful. God told me, and I'm gifted, and I'm this. Then now you got to go back to the beginning. But the road is there. So all you got to do is stay on the road. But when you get to the beginning, you get on the, I don't, and then you go off. I don't, because it's too hard. I don't know. I know what you're talking. And you just keep going off the road. And you think you got to go create another road. But all you have to do is just follow what he said and stay on the road because he already said it. So the end of the thing is right here, what he said. Stay on the path of what he said. Anything that happened on the path, it does not matter. It is for your making to get to the end of the thing. I don't care if you get slapped, if you get kicked, if you get spit on. Whatever happened on the road, God already traveled that road. Look at Yoseph. He spoke the end of the thing, and he had to go to the pit. His brothers kicked him. He had to be sold. He went in prison. No matter what happened, he was lied on. All of that happened on the road to what he said, that he's going to be king. He's going to be successful. He's going to be, literally, God was going to tell him he was going to be a governor. And they're going to submit to him. His family's going, because he's going to be in government. He's going to be in charge. That's what God said. That's the road. Now he had to travel, fall in the pit. His brother sold him. He go to prison. He went through all of that. Never to mind. Now, God ain't left me. God ain't with me. God, I'm just going to, this too much. I can't do this. That's why he said, go back to what I said. If you go back to what I said, watch this, right? If you go back to the end of the thing of what he said, all you have to do is just stay on the road and go back to the beginning. Okay. And every time you get discouraged, you go back to the end of the thing that he said, and you travel that road again and go back, and you get encouraged, and you keep walking. Right? I got discouraged again. Go back to what he said, and the road that's already there, and you get encouraged, and you keep walking. But every time you leave, you see Yoseph didn't leave them. Y'all put me in prison. Get me out of here. Now, I know that's not what God showed me. I had a dream. You see? Yes, so when he told him that, every process, he created a problem with Pharaoh of the dream. Whether he was forgotten by the first couple, all of that was part of the process. Look what they did to me. See, that takes the language out. Look what they did to me. Look, I know what God said to me. The devil trying to stop me. See, that's the reason why you have to go through that process, because that type of mindset, that type of language, you're not going to be able to handle the end of the thing. Because you can't be a successful entrepreneur talking stupid. That makes sense. You don't even have a mindset, a business mindset, because this whole process was a business mind process. This was not a spiritual making. This was wealth. So a lot of us believers sitting there in our closet, God told me I'm going to be wealthy. God told me He's going to give me that. You never really came to the end of the thing because your poverty mindset keep taking you into that spiritual vein, and you acting like it's a spiritual thing, and you forget that in the process of being made of a successful entrepreneur, you have to learn how to decode God's strategies. I'm going to use me as an example. Because my downfall came, Prayer Fast Yeshiva International is a school. I'm dealing with a whole lot of students, a lot of people that used to church, that used to ministry, that used to charity, that used to salvation is free, that used to give it to me, it's free. Give it to me, God gonna bless me. God told you supposed to sow into me. Give me. So if you're dealing with all of that, so here come a school that God created. You're not used to a school that you have to pay because we're not used to entrepreneur mindset. We don't understand the strategies. That portal, there's a principle in the portal of entrepreneurship. There's a portal in the replenishing realm. You still sitting in the portal of poverty. You still sitting outside of the gate called beautiful in poverty, begging for a blessing. You never crossed over. Why? For you to get to the gate of beautiful, to go inside of the temple, there is a code. There is a strategy. You never got there because your mindset is still sitting outside as a beggar. God, provide my rent. God, provide this. Lord, give me that. Give me, and your hand always out. Give me, give me, give me. Give me, give me, give me. So you never crossed over to understand the principle of wealth that says, give, it shall be given unto you. You never understood the principle when David, when they were trying to give him all of the offering to do the offering for God. He said, no, don't give me nothing for free. That's a different mindset. Then the servant that ran after the prophet, after Elijah said, no, I don't want none of your stuff. That ran and said, I'm going to go after, give it to me. He won't take it, give it to me. So you're always going to stay in that place of poverty. That you'll never cross over when Abraham said, you will never say that you made me rich. Because I'm going to operate according to the strategies. So in going back to that's what happened. So there was a freeze on prayer fast because I got off the road and listened to the victim. I ain't got no money to pay for my class. I ain't got, God, they started telling me the story. I don't have no money to pay rent. I don't have no money then. I lost my job. Oh, my child is sick. My cat started throwing up. My dog is lost. And start hearing my rent behind. They took my car. My car got repossessed and took me off the road of the school and took me in a road of charity. All right, then, God gonna bless you because I really want you to have it. So go ahead and come on. You don't have to pay. Come on. So I got off the road of what God had given the blueprint of what he said. Because this portal is different than charity. If you still in the charity, then you stay in the 5th grade. That's fine. But you can't... When you are in school, all the way to high school, your mother and your father provide. Even before you get to the 12th grade. When you get to the club, you start learning how to get your little job and get your little car. But before that, you go to school. Your parents provide clothes. They provide everything you need. All you say is, I got a trip. And the trip gonna cost $50. When you start going to college,
Yo. That makes sense.
now you keep going back asking if you want to. What? You get your own apartment. You go to school, even with scholarship. There's a principle to get the scholarship.
And to keep it. Yeah.
Some of them you still have to work. Yeah. Some of them you still have to do something. Yeah. Right. Now, you start going to grad school. No, you can't go back to your parents and tell them, can I have? Unless you do rich. And when you do that, they're creating a monster. Because you become a small brat, you don't know how to live. Oh, somebody. So it's the same thing that happened with breakfast. So it took me to charity, it took me back to 5th grade. I don't have. Oh, all right then, give us about 2-3 weeks before we pay. And 2-3 weeks is overtime. I ain't got it, so I got 2-3 weeks free class. Took me slap out of the school. So what happened? What God have said, the portal never got open for you nor for me, because we got off the road. So when we got back on the road, you ain't got it. I'm so sorry. God didn't provide. You better go get you a scholarship or something, because I can't get off this road. I can't get off this portal, because this portal is different. You understand? So that means that your experience of you going to get your money, you never experienced it, because I kept saying, it's okay. It's all right. Stay a beggar. Keep getting it free. But when I said enough is enough, now you experience a new thing with God to learn how to go get your money. And now you coming with the principle that you're going to get more out of it, because now you abide by the principle that you paid a full price. So now you get a full price return. So when somebody, see, in a Jewish perspective, even as an entrepreneur, which is different than Christianity mindset, when we lend you money to open your business, we're making a statement that we don't believe you're going to succeed when we give you the money. But when we lend you the money, we are making the statement that you will succeed. You will have it. Your business will succeed, that you'll be able to succeed to pay me back. But if I said, no, I'm going to give it to you, I'm making a statement that you are not going to succeed. You're not going to make the money. You're not going to have enough to pay me. So I'd rather give it to you. Which is different than Christianity. Now, give me. If you give me, that's a shame for you to be charging me. It's an insult to give you. It is a compliment to charge you. You see the difference of God's language. But we want God to fit our humanity mindset that God said, give me. That's not even the scripture. The scripture talk about if you ain't got nothing, you ain't gonna get nothing. That's right. Period. That's right. And you can't come to God and say, I ain't got nothing, because you saying I'm a deadbeat dad. That's why he said, I give seed. Listen now, the Bible said I give seed to the sower, right? That's not what I mean. I give seed to those who have a habit of sowing. If you don't have no seed, that's me. God just told you don't have a habit of sowing. I ain't got it. When you say I don't have it, you just wrote a whole chapter about your life. You wrote a whole chapter that you do not have the habit of a sower. That's why you don't have no seed. Let me go further. Because it's not magic. When we say God give seed to the sower, you think God give. Let me show you what that means. Through his principle, he gives. What is the principle? The principle is taking the seed and sowing it to the ground. That will give you a tree. That will give you many fruit. And out of the many fruit are seed inside of the fruit. So when you say God give the seed, it's not magic. Through the principle of sowing it to the ground. When you get the tree, you don't eat the seed. You take the seed and eat the fruit and sow the seed back to the ground so you could have another season of another tree of many fruit. So you can have, that's how you live in replenishing. That's the strategy of wealth. So when you stay in the spiritual part, God give, and you don't even understand the principle of God and how he speaks. You stuck in magic. You stuck in gimme. Give, it shall be given unto you. More than what you gave. Because one seed give you a tree with many fruits. And each fruit have many seeds. Yeah. Oh, come on, somebody. So the principle in Yoseph was a wealth principle when God showed him the dream that he was going to be wealthy, not rich, wealthy. Big difference. Because wealth spread. So, I'm hearing so many things. So when God spoke to Yoseph, understand, it wasn't a spiritual thing. We turned it to a spiritual thing. It was an entrepreneurship strategy. I'm going to make you an entrepreneur. You're going to be very wealthy. You get put in the pit. You go into jail. But the end of it, you told me I was going to be wealthy. You're going to make me a governor. That I could be trusted. Give me strategy of wealth. Boom. Family hates you. You crazy. You get put in the pit. Went and told your mom and dad you dead. You gone. You been sold. You in prison. You gifted. Yes. But the man Yoseph was when he received the dream, the man that appeared to Pharaoh is two different persons. Because the process made him ready for the wealth. Because if God give it to you now, you're going to lose it. Because the type of mindset that you have, you are hyenas. You got to go through the process to kill the hyenas out of your brain. Because it's going to eat up everything. So by the time Yoseph got into that place, he was different. The mindset was different. So because the mindset was different, he was able to receive the interpretation of the dream. If mindset was not different, he wouldn't be able to hear. The eyes of his understanding would have still been clouded. So let's say the whole process took Yoseph to a cataract surgery that removed the film from his spiritual eyes that he'd be able to see better. So with the process, he was appointed. He said, Pharaoh, he said nothing spiritual, right? You should appoint supervisors over the land to receive 20% of taxes. So we start hearing that. I'm buying this tax spirit. Ain't God. Why do I need to pay taxes? Why do I need? And so we start doing our entrepreneurship in a Cushionite way. We don't do nothing legal. We don't do nothing. You know, we just. And so we start giving stuff for free, like I was doing, giving the class for free. And then I have to go to God. And God just sat back, just looked at me and said, okay, keep it up. Keep it up. Well, God, I've already provided. You the one that choose to not protect what I gave you. You just gave it away. Obviously, you don't think it was valuable enough. Everybody sitting there, and they're just eating and going on. Yeah. And I'm like, well, God, I don't understand. Why am I feeling so depleted? Why am I feeling so, when I minister or coach someone and they getting out and they have strategies for their business and for their life, and I'm walking away like dry, dying, like, I don't understand this. I hate it because I was not operating in the replenish realm. I didn't create a cycle of value. The value was coming from, nothing was going back. Free. So what happened? Nothing came back. Because we don't operate according to that principle of giving back. Here's the price. You pay me, and I'll give you, and you pay me. And you walk away, and I walk away, replenish. You walk away, replenish. But we in the church, free. Give me. Why they taking up offering? Why you paying tithe? Why you have to sow seed? That don't make sense. You want to keep taking. You're going to keep taking until the house just dry and die. And then when they dry it down, you go look for another house. You are a thief and a robber.
True.
The house died. I can't get from it no more. Let me go to the other one. Free. Die. And then take a good look at you. You notice that you're still in need. Mm-hmm. Because you're outside of God's principle. So, you never got full. Mm-hmm. You still going and robbing other people for free. Because the principle is not working in you neither, because you're outside of God's principle. So you think you're doing good by stealing. But the stuff that you stole is not going to produce anything. Yeah. If you're going to give me something, you give it to me. But if I steal it, it's not going to produce me anything. So, I have to, David, don't give it to me, because I'm going to a different realm. If I want more from God, if I want something from a different realm, okay, it's just like going to the store. What you pay for free or for cheap, that, you know, what you pay for $1 at the store.
It fall apart.
Exactly. And that same product, read the back of the product. The percentage of what's in there for $1 is not the same percentage of the product that you paid $100 for.
Ooh, it's not.
The potent of it is different. It's watered down.
Yes.
So you'll have 90% water.
Yes.
And 2% of the ingredient. Mm. When you paid $100, you'll have 95% of the ingredient.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Maybe 5 or 1% of water.
Right.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
So don't, but that market is created for mindset poverty. Child, I got it too. So we buy knockoff stuff. Cause see, I got it too. So I created a market. So that person that created the market was smart enough to create a market for people like you.
Mm-hmm. You know you coming.
That's a beautiful. Don't get mad at them. Right. Don't be a hater.
That's it.
Because you're the one that's crazy. You're the one that's not using his principle. Because when Yoseph gave, he didn't say nothing about spiritual. He said they should gather all the food and produce it. He gave them strategies. And this good, you come in and set aside and grain and here's the strategy. And then when he finished, Pharaoh said, oh, you will be in charge of my household now. Oh, that sounds like what you told me.
At the beginning.
Exactly. You will be in charge of all the people, the ruler, by what you say. Only when I rule from my throne will I be greater than you. What? So Pharaoh said, Joseph, here, I place you in charge of the whole land of Egypt. He became the governor.
Which is what he saw from the beginning.
Exactly.
He walked it out.
What God, the problem. Stop running away from the problem. The problem have your answer. I personally, I know that's going to sound crazy. I love a challenge. Because in the challenge, I get to take it and crack it open and find the answer. Let me tell you how God trained me. He trained me from the beginning when I became a mortgage loan officer. And I had all these hard clients coming to me. And it seemed like they were coming from under, crawling from under a rock, finding my name. I never had an easy person that had all their money. Everybody had an issue that I had to work out for them to be approved to get a house. Never had somebody that came with good credit, all the money they need, been on their job over 2 years, and everything that you need to buy a home. Never. Every one of them took for me to crack the problem, to find an answer. And by the time I sent it to underwriting come back and said, no, not approved. So I have to find out what is it it's going to take for you to approve this loan. What is it that you need? And I just had to keep going. And I had a satisfaction with it. It was, God is my witness. By the time I looked, I saw money. But money was not my first satisfaction I was looking for. I didn't run after success. Success ran after me. Because I focus on service. When I focused on serving the person that was in front of me that always wanted a home and nobody wouldn't approve them. Going through the process of helping them, okay, this is what you need to do. This is what you don't do that. You're going to do this. And I'm giving them strategy, what they need to do to get them approved. And by the time it's finished, we get approved. There was such a fullness of it just, my spirit, everything was full. I was just so happy. By the time I saw my check and saw my money, I was like, wow. Now, that's what he taught me. But I still didn't have a mindset of a wealthy person. He was teaching me a lesson from that point. My second lesson was, now I need you to learn how to keep what I gave you. Because while he was giving me all that, I was just wasting. I was giving people stuff. I would give people a house. I would give people a car. I would give. Everything hurt. It just gave me, because I had a heart to give. So he didn't deal with that right there. I'm going to let you go ahead and waste it. Because right now I'm trying to teach you something else. You see that? Mm-hmm. You see the lesson? Mm-hmm. If you look at Yoseph, the lesson was coming piece by piece. But the lesson of his brothers and his family betrayed him. Threw him in the pit. Then he got betrayed by the cupbearer in the prison. He kept going through different process of his making. So my process at that time was to teach me about cracking the problem for the answer. Mm. And don't give up. When I tell you, I did not know what easy looked like. If easy came to me, I'm like, what were you? It was strange to me. Because I got attached to cracking the problem. Now, I didn't get drunk off a problem. I didn't get addicted off a problem. That's a big difference. Because you got to be able to take the problem and make a use and get the answer. But some people addicted, they just attracting problem. They're complaining, Lord, all I got is problem. All this stuff keep coming up. That's when you're addicted. It's a big difference. When you welcome the problem to know you get the answer out of it. Even Pastor Wu would say that that's what you need. You keep needing problems for you to get answers out of them. If you don't find the problem, you're just not satisfied. Because I love going through the process of the problem to find the answer. So after he taught me that, then now come the next lesson. Lose everything that I gave you. Here come the next lesson. Teaching me entrepreneurship, teaching me the mindset of wealth. So now I'm ready. I'm ready to walk and go to the end of the thing of what he said about wealth. So don't let my process fool you about what God said at the end of the day. Well, how come you said God said this and you over here? Don't let that fool you. Because I'm learning to have the identity of that wealth that he told me about. So when I get to it, that wealth is going to see an identity that's going to open up the gate. But if I'm out here with the wrong identity, God said, I bind you, devil, and you start doing stuff and get rich quick stuff. You start doing stuff to open up the door because your identity don't match what God said. Because you skipped the process. Because you were sitting there, I don't understand. It don't make no sense. This is too hard. You'll never get to the end of the thing. Did everybody understand that?
Yeah.
So now that I went through the process of understanding, now if you say I can't afford your class, that's no problem. Pick a little class that you could afford. When you're ready for this realm, he will provide the seed if you have a habit of sowing. When he provided, now you take the money and do something else with it. That's mean you're not ready. Because when you're ready, you're going to know exactly he gave me money for my school and I'm going to invest. Let me give you an example. There was, in my process, I remember there was a time that I didn't have no money to pay my light bill. And I came home and there was a note on my door that your light is cut off. At that time, I had to make a decision. You're going to pay your tithe or your light bill. I paid my tithe. The rest of it is up to you. I came and went in the house, turned on the light. Light was still on. I called them. I said, there's a note that says the light's off. They said, ma'am, the computer's showing the lights is off. I said, oh, okay. That's one level, one process. Then later on, I went through another process. You're going to sow your seed, pay your tithe, pay your light bill. I'm going to do that. Lights will still cut off. That's a different level of process. What you going to do? Lord, that don't make no sense. Lord, I know that's nothing but the devil because I know you've done it before. And I know that you just failed the test. You're not ready to be an entrepreneur. So what I did, I tried to find a way. Okay, I've got to go find my light bill. But I'm not going to regret that I paid my tithe. I'm just going to go find my light bill somewhere. There's something else. There's a job. There's a hustle. Somewhere. That's the problem. I need to go find an answer. And I did. Lights came on. Do you see that? Understanding how God speaks. So when you don't understand the process and you're talking about, hey, God did it before, hey, you're in a different realm. You're not ready to be an entrepreneur if you're going to sit there and cuss out your customer. Well, what you mean that don't make no sense?
Can't do that.
Even through my wedding officiant process, I'm learning different level of my entrepreneurship. I'm truly learning that I usually will do the work, send the people their agreement, wait for them to pay me. And they will look at their agreement. Oh, we decided to go with somebody else. And I had a little talk with my entrepreneurship self. Now what you going to do? You working. You doing the work, right? And you did it for free. Let me show you how God, one little phone call with somebody. It was another officiant. And she said a word that just said power, guided God, the seed of entrepreneurship. She said, I don't do no work until the machine go ching ching. I said, I'll call you back, girl. I started changing my day. You pay first.
Yes.
Once you pay, you send me the information and I will do the work of sending you your agreement. Until you pay me, I ain't doing jack. I've learned that, and God is my witness, and every time I try to be nice and say, okay, I'm going to send it, it never fails. Them cushot go someplace else. And I said, self, you did it again. It's not them, it's you. You are an entrepreneur. You're not a charity. Stop trying to do people favors. See, it's when we take that charity inside of entrepreneurship. So what? Your family don't want to buy your product. Your family is not your customer. Because your family don't want a 50% off or free. You don't call your family. You don't call friends. You go call your customers. Your family is not your customer. No. Child, what you mean? Let me pay you tomorrow. And if you said no, well, you think you all that now. With all that, I don't need your stuff. You think you can't even help your family. Help.
All that.
If you want a charity, open up a charity. I had to come to the conclusion the school was not a charity. It is a school.
Right. Yeah.
I don't have one class school that I've been to for free. Not one.
Not one.
Not one.
Nope.
Even I remember this when I first got saved. There's the little bookstore in Florida, and because I live in books, reading and studying. And I went in there, that man was just giving me all these books and all that. I said, sir, I don't have no money to pay. He said, it's okay, it's all right. You could come back and pay. I said, but sir, I kept saying, I don't have no money. I'm talking about books out of places that I'm just putting them in my car. I said, okay. When I went back to pay him, I was ready to pay him. The bookstore closed down. This is the way God does it. But I still came back with my money. I was like, oh my God, what happened? I didn't walk away to my, oh, God just blessed me with free books. This means you're not ready for entrepreneurship.
Right.
You're not ready to be the governor of your wealth. You're still in the process. So what did we learn from all of this? When God speaks to the end of the road, your job is to stay in the process so you could identify with the end of the thing. So what? Your food tastes nasty? Your product is ugly? Okay, take the criticism and do better. I don't believe you said that hurt my feeling. You know, take your little feelings right into that $2 store and get out my face because you're not ready. I just can't believe you said that about my stuff. This product is, this is a mess. This is unacceptable. I need to be healed because I hurt my feelings. What? You just said God gonna make you an entrepreneur. You know what? You making God out of a liar. Entrepreneur. Hey, you still in intro. You at the beginning of the intro. Don't get discouraged and talk yourself out of that road. Because everything that happened on the road is the process of your making. I don't even regret the freeze that took place with prayer. I don't regret none of it. Because it sure taught me a valuable lesson. And what it does, it fortified me in my place. Try to tell me now you're not going to pay for the class. See what I do. That's right. Hasta la vista, baby. I see you when you go back to the other school, the community school of intercession. You know, there's other people that's doing community intercession. Yeah. Take it, $30. Go ahead. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Whenever you get your little seed together, you come back. We want big dog blessing. Just bless me with the heavy weight of God. Bless me with the growth. I'm an entrepreneur. You want all right. And still walking around with dirty clothes, look like you just got off from under the bridge. My God. You still have that poverty mindset. You still that gimme. What? You don't look like no $1 million. So, I said that to say, understanding how God speaks to the end of the thing. But remember, when he spoke, he created the road of process. Right? You don't have to create it. So that means I've done this before. When he said it, okay, I'm going to show you. And I'm leaving. If God said, you are wealthy, you are successful, you're a businesswoman, you have this, you have many cars, you have many homes, you have this, right? He's speaking to me. Then when I go back to the process, as I'm walking to the process, I already walked that road. I've walked the road when he said it. So I have been through the process. I am. So now that I'm going through the process, this road is not unfamiliar. Mm-hmm. I've been here before because he said it. Mm-hmm. Did you understand? I've been here. So myself is actually going through the process to meet myself. When Yeshua died from the beginning, And then he took on a body to go through the process. That's why he said, take me, bring me back to the glory I once had before. So if he said it, I already am. So myself, wealthy self, is waiting on myself, coming from the process to meet myself, which is the end of the thing. So when you get, you'll never meet yourself. Because that self of wealth, that self of success is at the end of the thing and it's not moving. You could be out here trying to change God's mind all day long. Lord, you too much. Lord, Michael, help me. This is too much. Oh, I can't do it. You will never meet yourself. This is the reason why, oh God, I forgot. Miles Monroe, who said it, that the grave is wealthier, the most wealthy place on earth, because many people died and never met themselves. And that's why the grave is very wealthy, with many gifts, many talents, many entrepreneurship, many creators of things. Because they never go through the process of meeting themselves. It's up to you to go through that process. God already said it. And that's why he said, you need to learn to trust me. See, it's a lack of trust. You need to keep trusting me. You get on the road, you lose all your faith, you lose all your trust. This is so hard, I can't do things, I don't do much, because you say that. And what happened is you're not trusting me because I've already done it. If he didn't do it, he wouldn't have said it. It's when we get off the road. Shortcuts. You know, Yoseph is sitting there looking at you like, well, I just saw him. You don't look like you're going to make it up here.
Come on, go ahead.
I'm going to be by myself up here, honey, to the end of the earth, because shoot out there doing something else. It's going to be up to you to fulfill. It's up to you to become. God already done it. He's not getting off his throne. Yeshua not getting off. He's not going to do it again. He done it. Did Yeshua allow anything in the process to stop him? He stayed focused. No matter what happened, he stayed focused. He was betrayed. He was all this stuff. He was stay focused. Beaten. What? He stayed focused. So don't allow your process self to make you lose your appointment with your eternal self. One more time. Don't allow your process self to make you miss your appointment with your eternal self or your successful self or your wealthy self. Don't allow your process self make you miss your appointment. That's the reason why. Let me show you that little thing to make you learn how to keep your appointment. When God says something, you don't move. You take too long. You late. That's the reason why my mentor worked on me about lateness. Because if you don't stop this lateness, you're going to be late to your appointment to your wealthy self. So I had to work on that and say, See, little things, those are process for you not to miss your appointment. Why are you late? I overslept. You need to work on that because you're going to miss your wealthy self. Or you don't show up for your appointment. Or you don't communicate well.
That's me. I got to get it right.
So you can't meet your wealthy self because your wealthy self have a mindset of wealth, a mindset of entrepreneurship who knows how to communicate, who know how to strategize, who know how to express themselves, who knows how to listen to the strategy, which way to go, who also know how to take failures as a stepping stone to the next success. All of that you learn through your process self. Oh, y'all better send an offering for all of this. This is a real life coach.
It is.
Honey, this is $1 million life coach. You better sow your seed.
It is.
If you take what I'm saying, I could guarantee you 100% money back. Guaranteed. Watch. You become, you know what? You were right. That little pretty, sexy woman was right.
Yes, indeed.
Everything is the process. Life itself. Remember, I told you, you are a student of life. How can a student not go through classes? Everything is a classroom.
Yes, it's true.
If you speak to any entrepreneur, any successful man or woman, they don't play. They're on time. They strategize. They don't get afraid when the market fluctuates and get mad and scared and start killing themselves. They don't do that. They're always strategizing. Always looking at what's good for the market, what's not. Why are you sitting there telling them, I ain't right, that ain't fair, you shouldn't do that. Because Lord, the whole thing about Yoseph was about wealth. It was not nothing spiritual. Why are you sitting there in the spiritual world like I was doing, and then the school just going, Pharaoh, I can't afford it. All right then. I got this going on. All right then. Now I could say, oh, I understand, with a smile. Hey, God bless you. Do you all understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you take this formula and apply it to your life, I guarantee you, you will meet your successful self. You will meet the entrepreneur self. So when you get there, you talking about, your list will be different. I guarantee, because they did my list. The whole list of what you're going to buy your friend, you're going to give your mama, you're going to give your cousin. By the time you get to your wealthy self, you're going to have a different mindset. Yeah, they're going to talk about you. I can't believe you got $1 million. You won't give me none. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right. I can't believe you got all that money. You can't help me. Mm-hmm. Because my decision is different now. If I want charity, I have certain money I give to charity. But you're not going to take all my wealth and talk about because you need. No, I'm going to make a different decision. And the decision may not be comfortable for you. But I have to be that entrepreneurship that I'm comfortable with that. You notice a lot of wealthy people don't answer people when they're talking about them. You don't hear Oprah keep going back to everybody that's talking about her. Denzel Washington, all of them. They don't say nothing. They let you, even Beyonce. They let you talk about them. They let you call them names. They let you call them. They call them the devil. They call them all of that. They don't say one word. Because entrepreneurship mindset don't do that. It's when you poor. I can't believe I'm doing it to me. Oh, I can't believe that mindset. So can you handle people talking about you? Can you handle what they say about you? Can you let the whole people said a whole lot of stuff. I can't believe it. And it may look like I don't care because deep down inside I really don't. Because the entrepreneurship, don't pay attention to, because people that talk and complain is poor people. Again, people that sitting outside the gate begging, I give it, I don't have that. So that's what that complaint. I do that. Cause I can't believe, and she that. You think I'm coming down there with you? No. You can talk about me all day. That's why you come back and say, I was wrong. Mm-hmm. I didn't move neither. Right. Even Picture J, he don't come out there every time. So you can talk about him, do little movie, little video all day long. The man of God stays straight on his entrepreneurship. You keep making money while you're talking.
He sure do.
I'm so scared my family gonna talk about me. I'm so scared they're not gonna like me anymore. I'm so scared they don't believe that. You're not ready to meet your entrepreneurship self until you stop just caring. Whatever. If God show him, show him. God don't. You notice people that don't have money is the one that talks about money. People that don't have money is the one that complain about giving and buying. People that don't have money is the one that complain about prices. And I had to learn that even in my wedding. Had too much. Yes, ma'am. I pray that you do find someone that was able to help you. Because I had to learn. The one that you bring the price down for are the hardest customer.
To work with. Yeah.
Oh my God. They are Brazilers. When I stop, I help them find somebody else. And the ones in my house, I send a big, congratulations. Oh, I pray so much success on your wedding day. Let me know when you need a house. That's the increase. You don't. When I could afford it, I'm going to buy it. But I'm not going to let you keep bringing your price down to fit me where I am. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. Right. Oh, this too much. Can you calm down the price? Oh, I can't stand that. I can't stand that. The same prayer that you pray for the price to go down is the same prayer that you could pray, God, give me the money to buy it. That's same right. Prayer. That's same right. God.
That's right. That's right. No different.
Thank you, Blanche. Everybody need to sow a seed for those information, honey. Because that was good. That was $1 million seed.
It was.
$1 million seed. And I guarantee it's going to work. Watch. I'm in my process, baby. And I thank God for my process. Because when I finish meeting the wealthy self that I already am, ooh, my God, I'm ready. That's when you don't go around paying everybody rent that says, I can't afford to pay my rent. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me pray for you. Now you are dealing with your spiritual intelligent self. Because if you pay it this month, how they going to pay next month? Right. They get mad. Don't be worried about that. Then you're not getting my money. I need a strategy before I help you. What's your strategy? You see, that's entrepreneurship mindset. But if you're still stuck in charity, go ahead. There's plenty of charities out there. Go ahead and give to them. You just want to give? pfyi.org. Just give. We welcome. But you need to sow your seed anyway. But somebody put that on the comment and sow your seed. All right, that is it for me today. And I appreciate you for joining us in this new level of mindset, this new level of entrepreneurship. Go meet yourself and allow yourself to go through the process. Shabbat Shalom to all of you. And you may have a very successful day. May Adonai bless you and keep you. May Adonai face shine upon you and give you favor. In this new year of 2024. Now, we went through our spiritual new year. This is your natural year. Your natural entrepreneurship year, which is different than your spiritual new year that we went through in, I believe it was September. Hashashana. Now, this is a physical entrepreneurship year. May Adonai shine his face upon you. And may you have the ability to hear the strategies to succeed in 2024. May he shine upon you and give you peace. Shabbat Shalom.